Oh, hi guys. Just want to do a quick vid on the solar options, seeing as the sun's out and we're all getting that free energy. So we'll start at the very bottom end. You get yourself one of these folding panels off of eBay. They're about £15 now, I think, and that will be sufficient to charge up your small items like your chargers or your phones. Get yourself a power pack that can be. There's a little pocket. Where is it? There's a little pocket there, so you can pop a power pack in there. Just leave that on your car windscreen or on your backpack or wherever, and it will charge up a power pack for you. That's just sort of the camping handy, backpacking option. Then we move up to something a bit bigger. That's just a 70-watt panel. That's a 40 and a 30, and that's the sort of panel I would put in the vehicle if we're going away for the weekend or something. You want the battery power, the backup for the lights and etc. So that system there is that would cost, I think, the bottom panel, and yeah, they were about £35 for the pair. I just connected them together on a board and just connected a board to the back and then wired the two panels together, and it just doubles the output pretty much. So for that one you'll need just a cheap charge controller, what they call a PWM, which is a pulse width modulation controller, and all it does is it just rectifies the energy that comes from the panels and sorts it out so it can go into your batteries. One of these on eBay, I think they're only about 10 quid, so you're looking at say 40 quid there for that setup, less your batteries obviously. So that one's 20 quid and that one's about 40 quid. But if you're going to do the proper off-griddy thing, then you're going to have to move up a little bit and go with something a bit bigger. That's a 450 watts, 15 amps, and that gives me 60 volts. And for that, I need something much bigger. So let's pop downstairs and see what that's plugged into. Well, because the panel's so big, it needs a much bigger charge controller. So this is a MPPT. Maximum power point, oh I don't know, I can't remember the last bit. But yeah, that's you need something much more powerful to handle the bigger panels, and then you've got to sort out your batteries. So I get mine from Marketplace. I got both of those for £80. They are the most expensive part of the system, and make up your own switches. I'm not sure where that came from, a Hoover or something, I have no idea what that came from. So I've just got manufactured it all myself, wire the batteries in parallel, so you're getting maximum amps for the same 12 volts, keep everything 12 volts. Stick a meter on there so you can see what's going on. The charge controller tells you everything that's going on, and they're very easy to use. You've got your USBs there so you can charge stuff, as an auxiliary. And I use this here, powers everything down here. That includes the lights and the radios, and anything I need to charge up will come off of there. And I also have this load system here, which is a connection where you can just run anything off of it. That's your output, as it were. So that's my system. The big panel there, unfortunately, will cost you about £400. Solar works out to roughly £1 per watt. But as you buy the bigger panels, a 450 watt panel would cost you about £400. Yeah. So the cheaper option is to use the two smaller panels, a £10 charge controller from eBay. These are fine, but only use them with one battery. Never use them with two. I'd never put that little charge controller on two batteries. I'm sure people do, but to my mind these are cheap and cheerful, and you really don't want to put the strain of 180 amps, backing up through that. You just don't want it. So get yourself something much bigger, something much tougher, and then you can have as many batteries as you like, really. So it's a really good option for, like I say, this whole unit that I'm in now is run on solar, and if the lights went off, I've got my own power. I can sustain myself. And also that a lot of people, they connect to the grid. That's not a good idea. Apparently it's in the small print. If you have a solar array on your roof and you're connected to the grid, and they they pay you back a little bit off your bill, or they buy electric from you. Here's the little bit people don't realise. When the lights go off, there's a power cut, the electric produced from your solar goes to the grid first. So the houses with the solar on the roof will still be in the dark just as much as the neighbours. Just something people didn't realise, but check it out for yourself. It's right there in the small print. So my grid obviously is completely off, my system rather is completely off grid. Everything I make is mine, and I use it as and how I need to use it. There's no, it's not connected to any sort of external source at all. And the system will keep growing. I'll add more batteries, and I will add more charge controllers, and eventually more panels as well. So, but at the moment, that is all I need. It really supplies me with more than I need. So just to give you an idea, that's £30, that's £10. The batteries, £40 each roughly. You're looking for leisure batteries, use Marketplace, eBay, shop around, have a look, caravan centres, that sort of thing. They'll have second-hand batteries and that. So yeah, shop around for the batteries. Just try and put the system together on the cheap, or you know, for as free as you can possibly get, which is what I did. I had a friend help me out with the big panel. I certainly did not pay £400 for that big panel. So again, it's what you know and who you know. You know, ask around, put the word out, and you'd be surprised what someone might turn up. Get yourself a medium setup like the smaller panels again, and add a couple together just to build them up. And then you just need one battery and a cheap charge controller. There's lots of options, and like for the backpacker, obviously remember it's just the folding charger, the folding panel, and a battery pack to let it charge. So lots of options for you, and I can't what's the word, promote solar enough. Since I've had this down here, I've been totally off grid with it. I've had no problems with it. I did burn out one of these when I first started. I just ran too much power straight into it, and it didn't like it. And I only had the one battery, so it didn't have the capacity either. So yeah, this one 2 batteries, that one just 1 battery. Yeah. And well, let me know what you think, if you've got any ideas. But this is how I've put my system together. Like I say, cheap and chips, and there's different uses for different systems. The big panel runs this place, the 2 smaller panels go on the car, and the folding panel would be for like camping, personal, you know, for charging your personal bits. So don't know if it's been useful to you, but it's just what I've done, and everything I've learned myself. That's another thing. It's all 12 volt, it's all black and red. It's all plain and simple, you know, it's all plus and minus. There's no trickery. Keep your wires the same colour and you can't go wrong. Oh, and what I do advise, that I don't see on many, is a master off switch. See, that's turned it off. If I click that back on again, she'll pop back on. Just a master on off switch. Now I put that on when I had the last overload with this. Obviously if it's just sitting there all day doing its own thing and you're at work, you don't know what's going on. And one evening I came in and the batteries were boiling away and this was flashing at me, and so I thought what I'll do is I'll just pop a master switch on there. So like now we've had a really good day of sun, so before I leave here I'll just flick that off and she'll just sit there. Perfect. And then I'll pop back in tomorrow and it'll still be the same. And the radios, everything just sits there doing its thing. So I've had no problem with just the 2 batteries. I've got 180 amp hours there. I do intend to get another battery just to help with the storage, because you don't know, you get a power cut in the winter or something like that. And then I'll be looking at potentially adding a converter, so you can use these batteries to regenerate 240 volts. We haven't found a use for it yet. We haven't needed to yet, so I haven't done it. You know, we move with need, we invent with need, don't we? So yeah, we haven't needed to do that yet. So, but I'm thinking about running a, you know, you could run a fridge, or you know, something in the house that you might want to keep on in a power cut. So definitely a fridge. So I'm definitely looking at that. There's always room to expand and improve, but this is my really simple system, really cheap as chips, and I put it together myself. Anyone can do it, and I highly recommend solar. Any comments you got, anything you want to add, please pop it in the comments. You all stay safe, stay prepped.